One positive outcome of the modern cruise ship industry is the essential requirement that, in order to attract as many forms of passengers as possible, the ships must offer something unique to others. Throughout this channel, we have discussed ships that certainly did just that. Most recently, we have looked at Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas, and what she contributed not just to the cruise ship market, but to passenger ship history as well. But there are also plenty of ships out there that certainly contribute a lot that may not necessarily be as well known. Starting in 2010, Norwegian Cruise Line began to enter a new generation of freestyle cruising with the introduction of the Norwegian Epic. But despite her grand debut, the company knew they could do more and decided to pursue an even more innovative series of ships than anything they had ever designed. What came out of this venture was a class of 8 revolutionary ships, each one substantially improving over the last. Each had their own characteristics and brought forth something that all modern cruise ships now want to replicate in their own way. One of these ships certainly stands out above the rest. When she debuted in June of 2017, she was not only the company's largest ship yet, but she was also the beginning of a new side of adventure. Her construction, like all of her sisters before, was exceptionally challenging, but her owners and builders knew that she was worth all of the effort, because they knew what she would bring to the industry. Those included revolutionary first-at-sea features, a versatile design, attention to heritage, and most prominently, a symbolically rich livery that would enable her to stand out among any cruise ship she would cross paths with. This is the story of the Norwegian Joy, a colorful and versatile member of Norwegian Cruise Line's Breakaway class. In 2006, Norwegian Cruise Line began taking their first steps into the mega cruise ship industry when they signed an agreement with the STX Europe shipyard in Saint-Nazaire, France, to build 2 155,000-ton vessels with an option for a third. Although because of a major construction and financial dispute that ensued partway through the first vessel's construction, only one of the ships in the so-called F3 project would end up becoming a reality. When she entered service in June of 2010, Norwegian Epic was the second largest passenger ship ever, just behind Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas. She would, however, be down in the number 3 position when Allure of the Seas entered service in December of that year. At 155,873 gross registered tons, she was a quantum leap in size and scale for the company. Epic was a fine addition into the new mega cruise ship generation, but like any pilot program, and combined with her chaotic construction situation, she did have a number of minor issues that needed to be addressed in future vessels Norwegian Cruise Line wanted to create. With Norwegian Epic settling into her new life and seeing that despite some drawbacks, she was already performing well, NCL began looking at adding some improved and worthy running mates which would carry the company into a new era of freestyle cruising. As a result of the events of the F3 project, NCL decided to step away from the STX shipyard and turn to the Meyer Werft shipyard in Papenburg, Germany, to build a new class of ships that would apply many lessons learned from Epic's design and would incorporate many aspects never really applied at sea before. By August 2011, NCL had reached an agreement with the Meyer Werft yard to build 2 ships under the name of Project Breakaway. These 2 ships would be slightly smaller than Epic, but would feature so many new and improved things to both the company and the cruise industry, such as large water parks featuring multiple water slides, a massive ropes course, a true suite-only ship within a ship section, and most prominently, the waterfront. The waterfront is essentially a semi-open promenade that connects directly to restaurants and entertainment venues inside. This allows one to, among other things, dine al fresco and be able to connect more with what surrounds them. This feature had only been recently introduced on Carnival's Dream Class ships, and as innovative as it was on those ships, NCL took it to a whole new level. This waterfront feature is now a major characteristic of almost all cruise ships that are in service today or will be in the future. By early 2014, the 145,000-ton Norwegian Breakaway and equally sized Norwegian Getaway were in service, and was proving to be very popular and profitable. So much, in fact, that new and upcoming sisters would be at least 20,000 tons bigger as a result of needing to add even more space for both passengers and features yet to be seen at sea. Later that year, the keel was laid for the Breakaway class's third member, Norwegian Escape, at Meyer Werft. Upon completion in October of 2015, she was just under 20,000 tons bigger than her sisters and about 10,000 tons bigger than Epic. And, with her home port being Miami, she was the largest cruise ship ever to be based there. When compared to her sisters, she had entire decks added, expanded, and features redone. She was so different in many ways that she became the start of a subclass, now named the Breakaway Plus class. Escape had been ordered in October of 2012. Along with her order came yet another order for a sister, the fourth member of the Breakaway class, and the second of the Breakaway Plus class. During the planning phase of both Escape and the future fourth ship, NCL announced that each vessel would cost around 700,000 euros, about 931,000 US dollars. Later that year, in October, they announced that the fourth ship's name would be Norwegian Bliss, which was chosen following an online competition held the month prior. With designs finalized, the steel cutting ceremony of yard number 694 took place on September 16, 2015. However, right at the time when Escape was entering service, NCL announced some important information on the new vessel. In October 2015, they announced that the ship would be based in China and not the United States. As a result, the name had to be changed to fit better with the Chinese market. In February 2016, the name was changed from Norwegian Bliss to Norwegian Joy. The keel of the now named Norwegian Joy was laid on April 5, 2016, inside Dry Dock 2. The keel block number 45, would be the first of 80 that would eventually be put together to create the new megaship. Placed underneath the keel was a commemorative coin that featured the ship on it. A few days prior, the coin had been blessed at the Xintian Temple in Shanghai to bring special blessings to the ship. However, luck seemed to fade away when, on two separate occasions, fire broke out. The first occurred in September of 2016, and it cost the shipyard 50,000 euros to repair, and the second occurred just a month later, which damaged several cabins. Both were attributed to welding work. But by November, the shipyard was able to catch up and get back on track with the original schedule. In June of 2016, the first 390-foot-long section of the Norwegian Joy was floated out of the covered hangar and to the fitting-out berth in order to make room for the second section. By early March 2017, 11 months after the keel-laying ceremony, the ship was all joined up, painted, and nearly fitted out externally. Now came the time to take the Norwegian Joy out of the dry dock. Following a brief hull inspection by both the yard and representatives of NCL on March 3rd, the dock was emptied of all equipment. About 52 million gallons of water was then slowly let in over the course of 3 hours. At the same time, the basin just outside the dock was filled to its maximum depth. In a very delicate operation, the ship slowly came out of the hangar the following morning, being pulled by just one tug. About 5 feet of tolerance was all they had on either side After about an hour, the Norwegian Joy was free of the dry dock and was then towed to the nearby fitting out berth, where the funnel was immediately installed. For the next few weeks, most of her interior and furnishings were installed. By late March 2017, the Norwegian Joy was nearly completed. Soon it would be time for her to leave her birthplace for the last time. However, like every ship built in Papenburg before her, the journey to open water would be a true logistical challenge. Between Meyer Werft and the North Sea lies the Ems River. The journey requires each ship to travel about 23 miles through extremely tight and shallow areas and be able to squeeze through several obstacles. Because of the size of the Norwegian Joy, several days of preparation needed to occur along the river to make sure that she could pass through safely. The required draft would need to be 28 feet all along the river. On the evening of March 26, 2017, Norwegian Joy was cast off from Meyer Werft. During the whole transit through the river, she was completely maneuvered by 2 tugboats, one on the stern and one on the bow. She was also towed backwards to help aid with maneuverability. The first obstacle was Meyer Werft's basin gate. The clearance for this one was just 4 feet. Once through, she then faced her next obstacle, an old and disused railway bridge that only allowed about 10 feet of clearance on either side. After that came the Han Berghaus drawbridge. Even though the clearance would be about 23 feet on either side of the bridge's base, its roads don't rise perfectly vertically, and they could collide with the upper superstructure. The last and most challenging obstacle was the Ems barrier that divides the river from the Dollard Bay in Emden, Germany, which needed to be at least 26.2 feet deep on the bay side. The only time the ship could pass through this was at high tide. To make matters even more difficult, a thick fog rolled in early the next morning, obscuring most of these obstacles until the Joy was right next to them. When she passed the drawbridge, the semi-clear waterslide that hangs off the starboard side gave Joy as little as a foot of clearance. When she reached the Ems barrier, the water depth on the other side was slightly lower than expected, so she had to wait until it rose just enough. In the meantime, the fog began to finally lift, and a huge crowd gathered on the nearby bank to take a look at this monster of a ship. After some time, the lock was finally opened and the Joy was pulled through with just 15 feet of clearance on either side. Finally, after 14 hours of tight passage through the Ems River, the Norwegian Joy was free and began to steam under her own power for the first time. She then headed for the port of Eemshaven in the Netherlands, where she took on additional crew and materials. Shortly afterward, she performed her sea trials in the North Sea. On April 27, 2017, approximately 1 year after her keel was laid at Meyer Werft, Norwegian Joy was officially complete and was handed over to NCL at Bremerhaven, Germany. The company's 4th Breakaway class ship and their first purpose-built Chinese market vessel came out as the company's largest, at 167,725 gross tons. She was 1,094 feet long and 136 feet wide. She has a capacity of 3,883 passengers and 1,700 crew members. Like her previous sister, she features so many new and revolutionary characteristics, some of which had not been seen at sea before, the most imposing of which is a 750-foot-long, 2-level electric go-kart track. She also features a full laser tag arena, a huge gaming center called Galaxy Pavilion, which includes VR technology, interactive screens, and a full motion simulator. The suite-only section, called The Haven, was massively expanded from previous sisters, and it features the first true observation lounge, which allows one to have 180-degree views of the forward section of the ship and the ocean ahead. Her main pool deck offers 2 large pools, a kids' water park, and 2 multi-story water slides, one of which is clear in areas and hangs off the starboard side of the ship. She also features a mini golf course, 29 restaurants, an expanded casino, and numerous locations where passengers can truly connect with the sea, even from inside. Down below, she is powered by two 12V and two 14V MAN diesel and turbo 4860 CR engines and one Caterpillar 3516C HD engine that produce a total of 102,900 horsepower. Two ABB OI azipods help drive the ship at an average speed of 22.5 knots, and three Bernval FU-115 bow thrusters aid her with maneuvering. But by far the most visible feature of this new megaship is the hull art that covers her. Back in mid-2016, NCL commissioned Chinese artist Tan Ping to design Norwegian Joy's hull art. What resulted was not only a colorful and beautiful masterpiece, but one that was also infused with Chinese symbolism. On the bow is a phoenix, which symbolizes beauty and good luck. The main colors of the art are red and yellow. Red signifies joy, while yellow symbolizes grandeur. There are also hints of blue throughout the artwork, which signifies the sea. The sweeping lines across the hull help invoke simplicity and grace, as well as forward movement. The symbol-rich hull art certainly stands out among all of NCL's previous ships. Following Norwegian Joy's delivery on April 27th, she began her journey to China. Once there, she would be showcased in a multi-port tour. She stopped at the ports of Singapore, Qingdao, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, Tianjin, and Shanghai, where she was christened on June 27th. On the 28th of June 2017, Norwegian Joy departed Shanghai on her maiden voyage. While in China, she performed sailings for both Shanghai and Tianjin on mostly 4 to 5 night cruises, which included stops to various ports in Japan. However, her time in China did not last long. In July of 2018, just over a year after debuting, NCL announced that their purpose-built Chinese market ship would be relocating to North America the next year. There she'd be joined by her sister, Norwegian Bliss, on cruises to Alaska from Seattle, and replace the slot given to the smaller and older Norwegian Pearl. In early March 2019, Joy was dry docked in China. She was to go through a transformation that would cost about $50 million. A number of changes would come, including the removal of numerous cabins, a redone pool deck, an enhanced go-kart track, the removal and additions of several restaurants, and some minor updating of her livery. She then departed on her Trans-Pacific crossing, with work continuing on the inside. She arrived in Seattle in late April 2019. On May 4th, 2019, the newly freshened up and westernized Norwegian Joy departed Seattle on her inaugural voyage to Alaska. She remained there with her sister until fall, where she was then relocated to Los Angeles, where she offered Mexican Riviera and Panama Canal cruises. When cruising reopened in 2021, she found herself performing cruises out of Florida. As of the making of this video, Norwegian Joy is continuing to sail for Norwegian Cruise Line on mainly 7-night cruises from several different ports, including Miami and New York. When I first began to gain interest in cruise ships when I was younger, the Breakaway class had just been announced, and for whatever reason, I didn't really like the design all that much, and not really knowing how cruise ship technology really worked at the time, saw things like her supposed top heaviness as a problem. As a result, I really did not follow the development of the class that much in those early years. But as I began to learn more and see how much the class truly brought forth a lot into the industry, my love for them began to grow, but at a pretty slow rate. Then I remember seeing my first picture of the Norwegian Joy. She had only just come out of Dry Dock 2 in Papenburg, and photos began to be posted online. One in particular caught my attention. This was the photograph. The ship looked so impressive from this angle, but by far and away what got my attention the most was the artwork on the side. I had not seen it before, and it just grabbed me. And now, well over half a decade later, my love for the Norwegian Joy and the Breakaway class is at its highest, not only because of Joy's lovely artwork, but because of their design and attention to detail. The Breakaway class came out at a time when the mega cruise ship generation was in its infancy. Norwegian Cruise Line themselves had been pretty conservative in size and scale, but had come out with their first attempt in 2010, and as great as the Norwegian Epic was, it had numerous flaws. And combined with her construction history, NCL could have easily pulled the plug and go back to the more conservative route, but they didn't. Instead, they applied what they learned and began to look towards the future. Each member of the class has so many internal and external differences, and the reason for that is because NCL wants their passengers to experience something new and exciting. With Norwegian Joy, it was her go-kart track, laser tag arena, expanded suite neighborhood, and huge gaming center, among other things, that set her apart from the rest. And because of her design, and really the design of the entire class, she is incredibly versatile in terms of where she can sail to. Ever since she left China, she never has really settled in one spot. And that is because there are so many ways for her guests to enjoy themselves, whether it is outside or inside, whether the temperature is Alaska cold or Bahamas hot, or whether the sun is out or overcast clouds loom about. Wherever she goes, she is able to do it and do it well. Many cruise ships even today can't do that, but Joy and all her sisters can. Many people may think of Norwegian Joy as just another monster cruise ship, the middle child of a class of 8. Nevertheless, once they see her and go aboard her, they will understand how special she is, largely due to her heritage, rather than merely her design upgrades, flashiness, or even revolutionary features. When her guests set out on another adventure, they will do so in a vessel that no one will be able to overlook, one that is exceptionally vivid, versatile, and symbolically rich.
place, a new home for a while. Let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back. Take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by. Life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. I found my way. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. You and me stuck on the ocean now, nothing but waves and they're spilling in. I wanna dry up but you just keep on going, don't you? I don't even know how we got here, all my reasoning have disappeared. I wanna bury the hatchet and find the way back to our home, our home, our home. We don't have to drift inside this dome. I will not let us fade away. It's not a price I wanna pay, and it's not too late. No, we lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus. You were all that I need. I feel that we can break free. We can still go back there to a place with no cares. We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around all the way back home. Chasing all that we do not have, chasing all that we don't have, chasing all that we do not have, we do not. All the way back home. Chasing all that we do not have, chasing all that we don't have, chasing all that we do not have, we do not. Yesterday we could be ourselves, didn't have much but nevertheless we were true to each other. But now we don't even bother. I remember you being hopeful, but the tall waves have worn us down, and slowly we are drowning. That's why you need to come with me, with me, with me. Turn around 180 degrees and cross the sea. I will not let us fade away. It's not a price I wanna pay, and it's not too late. No, we lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus. You were all that I need. I feel that we can break free. We can still go back there to a place with no cares. We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around all the way back home. Chasing all that we do not have, chasing all that we don't have, chasing all that we do not have, we do not. All the way back home. Chasing all that we do not have, chasing all that we don't have, chasing all that we do not have, we do not. I always knew we could do so many great things, so believe in me, I believe in you. And I just feel that this will be an upswing, so hear me out. No, we lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus. You were all that I need. I feel that we can break free. We can still go back there to a place with no cares. We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around all the way back home. Chasing all that we do not have, chasing all that we don't want, chasing all that we do not have,
watch the sun go down over the same old town, like so many times before. We look at the same old stars, battle the same old wars, like so many times before. And I know that we're not perfect, but I'm gonna miss all that we had. Yeah, I know that we're not perfect, but I need this night for the last time. Stay, stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. Stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. If you stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay. We were never meant to last, but all the fun times we had, I'll never forget. We will always share a bond, no matter what, 'cause you have a piece of my heart. And I know that we're not perfect, but I'm gonna miss all that we had. Yeah, I know that we're not perfect, but I need this night for the last time. Stay, stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. Stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. Stay. If you stay. If you stay. If you stay. Know you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay. Till the sun goes up, yeah, for a little moment. Just hold me closer, I'll be okay. Till the sun goes up, yeah, for a little moment. Just hold me closer, I'll be okay. We watch the sun go down over the same old town,